over the place.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, dude, isn't it crazy? That's hot. And they're always like, I used to, at one point I had I don't know why, but lesbians were always coming to my shows. And they were always like the fun lesbians, not the angry lesbians. And they were fucking great. They're fucking great. But, dude, the other way around, dudes dressing like chicks, it's just, I don't know why it scares people.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what's crazy is transgenders have fought so hard to be accepted as women, and I'm cool with that for sure. You want to dress like a woman, fuck, but fucking shave. You know what I mean? You fought. You got. You want to be a woman? Shave. Put your makeup on right. Do your fucking hair. You know what I mean? You want to be a woman?
Yeah.
Act like one. Right? Shave. And transgenders that have beards. Like, come on, dude.
It's like when you see a butch girl, you usually don't know if you see her from the back or something. You're like, hey, that might be a guy. When you see a trans guy, you can tell, like, he's got the broad shoulders. Then, like you said, he's not fully shaved. He's tall as fuck.
I was a strip club DJ for a long time, so I dated a lot of strippers in my time. And anytime these strippers hooked up with a chick, not even for a second did I get jealous. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They could be making out and all over each other. I'm like, guys like that shit. They don't get jealous. Some guys do get jealous though, but there's something wrong with that.
Some guys don't. They're like, no, dude, I don't want hooking up with chicks. I'm like, oh, okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah, but I will say this once. I was at a strip club and these two chicks came in and one was like gangster, like butchy.
Yeah.
And I had my girlfriend at the time, and the gangster girl had a hot girl with her, super femmy. So there were two girls, but one was butchy and gangster looking, like cholo almost. You know what I mean? And she had a blonde. And then my girlfriend was pretty hot, and we all went back to my house. And that chola, I swear, it bothered me a little bit. That chola was like all over my girl and like trying to make out with her and stuff like that. I felt like just punching her. You know?
Yeah.
It was weird because she looked too much like a guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a weird thing. It was the only time ever.
She shows up to court all dressed in like girl clothes and stuff like that.
It was the only time ever where I was with a girl who was with another girl, and I felt really uncomfortable. I didn't like it.
Well, it is interesting. I mean, like, that's all.
You look too much like a man, dude.
Yeah, that's what I told you. They actually look like men.
Yeah. I love black lesbians, dude. You ever see black lesbians? They come straight up like fucking G'd out, dude. And I think they're fucking cool shit, dude. We got a couple black lesbian comedians here. They slay the fucking room, dude.
Oh, dude, yeah.
They slay the room, man. Because they don't scare anybody. Like, like nobody's like, ooh, Yeah. But it's interesting because the whole trans agenda, again, my whole opinion is it's manufactured bullshit. And, like these people are putting like drag queens in fucking elementary school. And
nobody likes that.
Nobody likes that. Trans don't like that. And then you got these trans competing against women. This is all done to scare the fuck out of people. Okay? Yeah. You know what trans want to do? Work a job where they don't have to sell their ass on the street. Yeah. Like they'd like to have a regular job.
They just want people to not talk about Epstein. That's what really it is.
Yeah.
Because think about the massive cover up that we're in the middle of with Epstein. It's a Ghislaine Maxwell. There's no indictments. What about Jean-Luc Brunel, the guy from France?
Kevin Spacey, dude.
What about Les Wexner? Nobody's going on.
Nothing.
Prince Andrew, nothing either.
He had to move out of his mom's house.
Not only is there a complete cover up by both sides, everybody's covering them up. Not just the left and the right is too. They don't want to talk about Epstein.
I mean, we just talked about how many presidents we think are secretly gay. I mean, dude, it's like it's at the highest fucking levels, dude. It's like you brought up the whole thing. It's like, dude, they're putting these guys who are secretly gay in power positions and blackmailing the fuck out of them.
Both sides, the left and the right.
Yeah. Like that guy who just came out and said, like, the First Amendment's important. Who's the guy with the eye patch?
Crenshaw.
Yeah, he came out. He's like, the First Amendment's important, but it doesn't apply to anti-Semitism and shit. And I'm like, oh, man, they got you, dude. I guarantee they got him doing some weird fucking shit.
There's a couple things about Trump that, remember, there's three types of people, right? And the third type is they think Hillary and Trump, same team. It's all a show. I'm balls deep in that shit every day. That is not a show.
No,
it
I
is not
agree
a
with
show.
that, dude.
It is not a show. They're really going after each other.
Yeah.
It's not no fucking show.
Crime bosses versus.
There's no way they could put a show like that together. You know the kind of coordination they'd have.
Yeah,
they'd have to have meetings and shit. Like, okay, you're gonna do. Yeah. There's no. This is some real shit, and the system is allowed is set up. It's rigged, but it's not rigged like it doesn't matter what you say or do. This person's gonna win. The elections are real. It's real. The football games are real. But they, can you imagine if football games were rigged and they had to rehearse what they were going to do? This is the last play of the game. We got to rehearse this playing it. It's too hard. It's way easier to have it be real and just fucking fuck with the numbers a little bit. It's way easier.
With a call here, a call there.
It's way easier to do it that way. It's
100%.
impossible to give everybody scripts and have meetings on what we're going to do. You know what I mean? Go, I don't want to do Russian collusion again. We got to do it again.
Yeah.
Just stick with me. Everybody, you know what I mean? It's impossible. So,
I like to do something called play a game called Blackmail Clue. You remember Clue, the game where you'd be like, they did this here with this, and that's what I do with Blackmail.
Okay.
Like, what do I think they did? Who they do it with? And like Paul Mayo is just can't stop talking about going to war with Iran and just his love of Israel constantly. And like I like Israel, but it's like these motherfuckers are like way too into this shit, like too much.
I forgot my point. My point is, I hope Trump's legit. I hope he is. I know people think he's an asshole, but again, we're not. We're not trying to. You're not gonna. You don't have to be his roommate. He's trying to fix the economy, and he did that. The economy's booming. And if he didn't win, Hillary would have won. She's got a body count, dude. She got a body count, man. What are you thinking about? You'd rather have someone with a body count? Trump ain't got no body count. He may be an asshole. He may talk shit. He may call you out on bullshit, but he's getting the job done. Everything he said he was going to do, he's doing, basically. But he didn't build a wall because these motherfucking Democrats won't let him. And he's still building it. He didn't build a wall. Like, dude, these Democrats have been fucking saying walls don't work and all that bullshit. He would have had the wall built if he would have just had cooperation from the left. But anyways, the couple things that it's hard to like the whole people are saying, oh, he's a Zionist shill, he's all about Israel. I'm like, is that bad or good? I don't know if it because you
don't mind it as long as it's you could be pro-Israel all you want. I have no problems with that. I am very sensitive to the plight of the Palestinians for sure. And I don't think wanting the Palestinians to be treated with human decency is anti-Jewish at all. At all. I mean, like, it's amazing to me in this country how we don't want people on welfare and we hate one-payer health care, but that's what Israel gets. It makes me like, I have no problems with Israelis. I have no problem. I think Israelis are just like Americans, bombarded with propaganda to get them to hate a group of people that are completely powerless. Like, there's that meme that went out. Like, the mainstream media is billionaires paying millionaires to convince the middle class that the fucking poor people are the problem. That's my opinion. But when you pass an executive order, which is like violating the First Amendment, which is what we're all about. I have problems with that, man. I have problems with dual citizenship. I have problems because it's like, what comes first? I mean, honestly, man, I have no Israel is a country. Must be recognized. We must recognize the fight of the Palestinians as well. And there's no reason you got to be one or the other. You can want peace and love. But like, America. I mean, like, I want my president to be America first. That's my whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like who are the dancing Israelis? Who are the Israeli art students? What happened with the USS Liberty? What happened with JFK? I mean, these are real questions, and it's not Israelis. It's the same cabal that did everything else. We're all just it's pawns.
Yeah, so it's hard, when people say that, oh, he's a Zionist shill. It's hard to know how bad that is. Is it bad? Is it good? Or is Trump playing a game? Is he playing 5D chess with that and realizes, in order to pull this off, in order to drain the swamp, this is what we got to do. We got to be cool with Israel, and we got to be cool with the military. So I'm thinking, like, is there a chance when it, because he's like given, the military budget now is like $2 trillion. It's like bigger than ever before, and he's bragging about it, and he's proud of it. So maybe, who knows? Maybe this is my theory. I don't know if it's true, but I talked to Alex Jones about this. I go, what do you think about this theory? Maybe he sat, because he's always making deals. Maybe he sat down the military-industrial complex, because that's like a big problem, right? Didn't Eisenhower warn us of that? Wasn't it him?
Yeah, that was his famous speech.
So maybe he sat him down and said, listen, I know you guys, you guys want perpetual wars in the Middle East to keep, the industry going, the military-industrial complex. How about I just give you the fucking money? I give you what is it? What is it called? What do you need? $2 trillion? What if I give you $2 trillion and we just stop the fucking wars? Are we cool?
Yeah.
What if that was the deal?
I hope.
You know what I mean? It's like, you still get your fucking money. Because we're going to save money from all this bullshit aid, the billion here and the billion there.
Yeah.
We're stopping all that shit.
Yeah.
So, boom, we're going to end up evening out anyways. Because he's saving so much money redoing these deals that we were being fucked on constantly. And all these aid scams, like the Ukraine aid scams, like, the U.S. gives $1 billion to the Ukraine in aid. And what they do is they take $500 million or whatever and funnel it back as donations into American politicians' foundations. And then, boom, that's how they get paid. It's like, so Joe Biden's giving them $1 billion of our money so that they could give back. What I mean? And then on top of that, they give Joe Biden's son a job with one of their energy companies. They get paid about $100K a month, which is coming from their tax money. So we're just trading tax money. So
dude, baby mama drama with that Hunter Biden dude.
Yeah.
Dude, he's getting, I go, man, what do you, he knocked up the stripper, which is good for you, dude. You went for it, and yeah, dude, he got busted smoking crack in a fucking strip bar in the VIP room. Nice. That's the story that's out. He knocked up the stripper. This stripper's so nuts, she's suing him, saying he's got more money than he's telling me. I mean, dude, you are nuts. Because this is the lawsuit that's coming out that he's involved in money laundering.
Yeah. So now he has to show how much money he makes.
That's the most... dude, who has a worse fucking baby mama drama? Is it fucking Hunter Biden or fucking... what's his name from... who's the crazy actor that went? Oh, Mel Gibson. Who has bigger baby mama drama?
Hunter Biden by far.
Dude, this bitch doesn't get what she's doing.
Yeah.
Like, you're suing this guy? Do you know how many people are associated with this dude? And in on this money scam that you're fucking outing right now?
Yeah. I wonder if, how, so if Trump asked you if you would go for this deal, if Trump came up to you and said, listen, military industrial complex, man, that the military runs shit. They need war. What do you think about this deal? We give them the money that they'd make anyways for these wars, but we pull all the troops out. Are you down with that? Would you be down with that?
Yeah.
You got to make a deal, right? They want their money. It's better that you just give them the money than have our soldiers die for no reason, right? And then what if there's some kind of deal like that with Israel, like he had to move the capital to Jerusalem in order to get a free path to something, you know what I mean? Or
well, I mean, like if you look at who took out JFK, I mean, those are the two big components of that. Those are the two. It's very interesting because he's very pro-Israel. But he's also anti-Federal Reserve. It's like, it's the same people running everything.
Yeah.
That's
confusing too.
Right?
Like what's going on there? He's challenging the central banks, which he didn't have to. He doesn't have to go after the Federal Reserve. He could have easily just kept it, with the deals, with the U.S. MCA, with the new China deal. He could have just kept it about deals, but he keeps bringing up the Federal Reserve and the central banks, and any mid-level conspiracy theorist knows that that's the root of all the problems. It's the central banks. Everybody knows that. It's the bankers, the international bankers, central banks. And Trump's going after them. So, but aren't the central banks based out of Israel?
No, I mean, dude, it's the city of London. It's the Rothschilds. It's all those same people.
Yeah.
That's my whole point with like Hitler. It's like, who's Hitler's grandfather? Like, who made we always know that leaders aren't elected, they're selected, right? And who basically created the system that basically tracked who was where in the concentration camps? And then who was part of that landmark deal that gave basically the Rothschilds, I said who they are, the land that Israel's on. I mean, it's like all the same fucking people, man. And then so like if you're, and again, that's not anti-Israeli or anti-Jew because I love all of them. It's just like power structures. And then it's like, it's the same people who own all the Federal Reserve centralized banks. Like no one ever like everyone talks about how Russia kicked out the Rothschild banks. They're like, yeah, but nobody talks about how Russia is still part of the Bank of International Settlements, which is the institution that runs all the centralized banks. Nobody ever talks about that bank. That's how powerful that bank is. That nobody ever talks about that. There's one bank that runs all the banks. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what are we doing here? It's so complex. If anybody thinks they know what's going on, they're fucking nuts, dude. That's why it's like, it's like there's a war going on. I think there is a war going on. I think it's like a fucking crime bosses versus satanic pedophiles. Yeah. And this New York crime boss syndicate wants to take over Washington, D.C. They're like, why aren't we running Washington, D.C.? We own the fucking stock market. We're the stock market. Why are we not taking D.C.? These guys got. So this group that came in after they took out JFK, they've been running shit. A new group wants to run shit.
Yeah.
And that's the real war going on.
Yeah.
And he's destroying institutions that they've been setting up for years. Mm-hmm. I mean, decades, if not centuries, that doesn't seem like business as usual. Unless you know the outcome, which is Project Looking Glass and all that shit. And that's where you go really deep into time travel and being able to fucking crunch your data, dude. You know what I think is really funny? Is if right before, like your last week on this planet, right? You know it's coming in. The government will come and they will tell you what the data tells you about yourself. Like, what is your fucking, like, your sim? Like, when they take all your money, like, this is what we think about you, right? This is what the government, I would love to know what the government thinks I am. Like, would that be hilarious? They're like, dude, you jerk off the weird shit, okay? You eat too much Chipotle. And,
but we all know that already, Sam.
Yeah, right. But I would love
it. It would be nice on your deathbed if you had the right to know exactly what the fuck we were
right
on. Like they tell you. Yeah, right before they tell you, go, listen, this is what's been going on. That'd be cool. Like, at least for one day, you know exactly what's been going on.
Rest in peace.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But then you can't talk to anybody. As soon as they talk to you, a dude with a black suit and some shades comes in, and you get to ask him any question. He knows everything.
Yeah.
Where we came from, all the lands that they keep from the peasants, and there's probably.
What would you ask him?
What we're on?
Yeah, that's exactly.
What are we on?
What
is this shit? This motherfucker's flat. This fucker is flat, dude. There's no curvature.
So my friend last night, this guy Nick from We Are Change, sends me this video. It's a 2-parter, right? And it's basically this guy who's got 5 million subscribers on YouTube. He's this British guy. He's a grown-ass man. And he's going to do an interview with a flat earther. And my friend Nick sends me, it's a 2-part video.
What's the guy's name? The flat earther.
It's not the, it's another British black guy, but a different dude. It's this guy right here.
Allegedly Dave?
No, it's not allegedly Dave. It's this dude right here. I don't know who he is. Hold on. Or what his name is. But, yeah, it's this dude. And they break down. I'll find out what his name is. But this British guy goes and interviews him. And I thought the guy who got interviewed, and I'll send you the links. Well, I think he handled that interview so well. Because the interviewer wasn't there to mock him. He was there to, like, find out, why are you into this shit? And the way the guy described everything was so intelligent and adult. Like, I don't know. I think my friend Nick might be in the flat Earth, and he's like, listen to how this guy answered. Because I go, well, I watched both the videos, and they were both 2 hours. So that's a lot for me to sit down and watch.
A 2 hour flat Earth video?
It's two. He does 2 interviews.
So it's 4 hours.
Oh shit! You got to send me the.
No. Each one's an hour.
Is it new?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you links to them. And I thought the guy just answered it so fucking smart, man. I think he handled it really well. And it's basically like, I studied it, and I did. He did exactly what you say. He got into flat Earth trying to debunk it.
Everybody does. Nobody gets into flat Earth like right away. Everyone is pissed off at it. Everybody that's in it, they all got the same story. They're pissed off. I was pissed off. I couldn't believe people kept bringing it up. I thought it was the dumbest shit ever. The indoctrination's strong, dude. They get you as a kid. Once you realize it, once you open your eyes fully, you see it everywhere. They get you. They know it's important that you got to get the kids. You got to get the kids with space. My son is being bombarded with space daily. Space daily. Planet daily. Sphere daily. So by the time someone comes up to him with this flat Earth nonsense, they just think it's ridiculous.
And that's my whole
it's
thing.
Ridiculous. That's retarded.
Here's the whole thing I've noticed. The argument between flat Earth and not flat and ball is flat earthers do research, and the other side takes the word of somebody else.
Exactly. That's why when we had Zach Waldman on here to debate, remember David Weiss?
Yeah.
People were, there was some people, some ballers that were mad. They're like, why did you get, Zach, he doesn't know anything. Why don't you get someone who knows shit? So basically we were saying you need someone to say shit that we don't understand for you to win. That's what you need? You can't just take a regular dude and explain it? You can have Zach Waldman is a smart guy. He's a very smart guy, and he can't explain. He didn't know anything about, people that defend the ball. They don't know the circumference or the supposed circumference of the planet. They don't know shit. They don't know that we're, spinning 1,000 miles at the equator. We're going 60,000 miles an hour around the sun. The sun is going 600,000 an hour around the Milky Way, and the Milky Way galaxy is shooting over 1 million miles an hour. So that's 4 motions, and we're not moving at all, dude. People think even in the 30s and 40s, Einstein was still battling and debating with scientists about whether we move or not. He has a quote that goes, "We still can't prove that we're even moving." They were still debating it in the 30s and 40s. They didn't have anything down. There's documents that the Russians were still sending shit up like in the 30s and 40s. CIA documents, declassified documents. It's on Rob Skiba's page. He's a badass flat earther, one of the best ones out there. But the Russians, according to the CIA declassified document, the Russians were trying to figure out what we're on. They were still trying to figure out the shape of the world. They were sending shit up. They were still trying to figure it out. People think, oh, this flat Earth is new. It's not new. It's always been around. There's always been books like scientists going, dude, this globe thing. Because the globe thing, think about this. It was all started by the Vatican. The Vatican, you would think that the Vatican would be all about flat Earth and all about dude, they were getting so much pussy that they had to outlaw pussy. Can you imagine how hard that was, dude? Trying to outlaw the pussy? How bad did it have to be where, like, dudes didn't want to take their wives to church because the bishops and the priests were fucking all their wives. Yeah. So, like, we're out this motherfucker. So, no. And they couldn't have just outlawed pussy, right? It was probably in stages. Like, at first they were like, okay, the priests are only allowed sex 3 times a week. Yeah. And, like, they're like, what? 3 times a week? The priest must have been pissed. But then they thought, you know what? If I get caught, we'll just have sex whenever we want, just like we're doing. But when you get caught, just say, dude, this is my 2nd time this week.
Name me one thing they've outlawed that people stopped, by the way. Nothing.
Dude, can you imagine how pissed these priests were when they finally just said, fuck it, dude. We have no choice. You left us no fucking choice. We got to outlaw pussy. And dude, can you imagine all the priests that quit? They probably became like fucking like.
That is the dumbest rule, by the way. It's like you can't fuck. But, you love the Lord, but you can't have sex.
That's why they say a lot of like homosexuals become priests, because that's the way of hiding it. They just say, I'm a priest.
I do think that, but I also think the only ones you hear from are the The ones that they got blackmail on. The one, at the highest level.
So that's the history. That's the mainstream history of the Roman Catholic Church. I grew up Catholic. I was balls deep in all that shit, right? So they created this religion, this Jesus religion, which made him like a rock star.
Yeah.
To keep the people from leaving, right? That's
Jesus was the first comic book hero. Would you agree?
Yes. That's mainstream. That's mainstream, right? So, and then who invents the Big Bang Theory? A priest from the Vatican. That's weird, right? Why are they trying? Dude, they hated Jesus. They just claimed Jesus because they had to. They weren't down with Jesus, not from day one. They hated Jesus. Look at the Vatican with that resurrection.
Yep.
Dude, the resurrection. It's like, oh, this is just a depiction of the resurrection. Like, you got the part of the resurrection where he's just leaving hell. That's a Slayer album cover, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why couldn't you get to the part where
Yeah.
he's already on earth and there's a sky and clouds behind him?
Yeah.
And there's like a meadow and children playing in the meadow. Why don't you get that part
Yeah.
of the resurrection? You got the part where he's breaking through hell?
Yeah.
That's the part you want to fucking make a monument of?
Why do people walk around with what he was killed on around their neck?
Yeah.
Dude, that's some death metal shit they got there. And then they got that cathedral that looks like a serpent. Come on, man.
Yeah.
They got all this ancient Babylonian art all over the Vatican. It's clearly satanic.
Yeah, for
Clearly.
sure.
You could see the pattern. They were trying. And what kills God more than evolution? Dinosaurs, infinite space, ball earth. Everything is the opposite of the Bible. Bible says we're on a plane, a flat, we got a firmament, water's above, water's below.
We have a purpose in
You
life.
look at them stars. You actually look at them stars. It looks like light through water. That's what they're flickering. Like if you were underwater and you see a light, it looks exactly like that. Like maybe there is water way up high or something. Maybe I don't know. But everything the Vatican was saying, and then
What are we in a sea lab?
And then Copernicus is the one that finally he designed the modern day heliocentric model, right? But he wasn't even into it. This is mainstream knowledge as well. He was like, this was his theory, and the Vatican was like, damn, that's a beautiful theory. Let's promote that. And he goes, no, I don't want to promote this. You can promote it. Publish my books after I'm dead. He goes, publish it after I'm dead. And the Vatican goes, no, we're going to do this shit now. So they loved that shit. They loved because it would just win against God. It went against the Bible. Everything about the heliocentric model goes against the Bible. And who pushed it? The fucking Vatican pushed that shit. Who created the Jesuits, the Society of Jesus? The Vatican.
Yeah.
It was like out to destroy Jesus.
Dude, it's crazy, right?
So
It's crazy.
So, man. And then...
It's like Child Protective Services is the last thing they protect is children.
Exactly. It's the exact same thing. All these foundations that help children from child trafficking, they actually traffic children.
Yeah, I want to fight all of them.
How crazy is that?
Man, if I ever got in control of the world, the first place I'm invading is the Vatican. I'm going balls deep, and dude, give me those books.
Hey, how powerful is the Vatican? I ain't fucking with no Vatican. Sorry,
They're
sorry,
their own
Vatican.
country.
Dude, the
They're their own
Vatican
little...
is powerful as fuck.
Yeah.
Think about that. They created the Big Bang Theory. Zero evidence. And everyone's walking around. They think they're all fucking smart. Yeah, I went to college. Yeah, it's Big Bang Theory, bro. Big Bang. Like, they don't even know a priest came up with that shit. Zero evidence. There's no evidence that out of nothing, a big explosion happened.
Yeah, what happened? What was here the moment before the explosion?
There's zero evidence of Big Bang Theory.
Sounds like
there's
magic.
a lot of evidence of flat Earth. Whole shitload. Scientific evidence. They say flat Earth isn't scientific. It's all scientific. It's all scientific. If we're on a ball that's 25,000 miles in circumference, it has to curve at a certain rate, and they figured out that rate. That rate is every 8 inches per mile squared. They already figured that out. So at 100 miles in the ocean, there should be about 6,000 feet of curvature, and there isn't, because you could Navy ships target other ships at 100 miles. You could just see way too far in the ocean.
Yeah, well, they didn't have that technology back when they came up with these rules.
And they still say, even today, they still say, one of the main reasons they thought the world was round is because when you're standing on the beach and you look at a boat sail away, it sinks, It looks like it's going over the horizon. But then now, you get a binoculars or just
Yeah.
like a little, and it comes back into view. So if it went
Scope.
over a curve, how the fuck are you able to zoom in on it?
Yeah.
But still, people hold on to it. You know what they say? Oh, but eventually it'll go over the curve. Yeah, because eventually your zoom power is going to max out, and then it will go over the curve. But if you had an even more powerful zoom, you'll bring that motherfucker back again.
Yeah.
But there also is, they go, why can't you see China? There's humidity, there's moisture. You could only see so far, but that's changing now with the infrared cameras. Oh, dude, they're seeing way far, dude. With infrared, because it's tough to.
We don't know what the. I mean, dude, it's just because people can't compute that, dude.
Yeah.
They can't compute that everything was a giant lie. It's like why there's still people upset that Hillary didn't win.
Yeah.
Like how many fucking child sex trafficking cases does your company have to be associated with within a year? 1 year. I'm not talking total. I'm talking just 2019. How many associates of yours have been arrested for child sex trafficking? Right now it's 5. 5! But people can't compute it because they got told that she's their grandma, their aunt, their mother. And they can't compute that they got lied to because nobody wants to believe that they can. Some can get past them. Everyone thinks they got the best bullshit meter out there.
Oh yeah.
And they ain't got shit.
It's really simple. If you agree with what CNN is saying,
Yeah.
you're hypnotized. You just don't know it. They just got you. So if you don't know, just say, hey, listen, go watch CNN. And if you agree and believe with what they're saying, you've been got. Because that's Operation Mockingbird, man. You're watching CNN, Operation Mockingbird. And guess what? CSNBC, they MSNBC. What did I say? CNN.
There is CNBC, which is their business channel.
All that shit. They're all saying the same thing. They're all backing up the same shit.
Yep.
That right there, by process of elimination, you should figure out, oh, okay, I see who's bullshit and who's not bullshit. Because you already know what the bullshit is.
Right.
The bullshit is whatever CNN is saying, that's the bullshit. If they're promoting climate change is bullshit. The EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, they've been caught changing scientific numbers at 9/11 because remember they had their spokesperson. It was a woman who kept coming out at 9/11 and saying she was the spokesperson for EPA, and she was saying, "Yeah, we've done the test, we've done the scientific test on the dust. It's totally safe and effective. Everyone come back to work." And people were like, "What? It's safe?" Go, "Yep. Here, look at the science. The science it says right there. Look." And it turns out that scientists came on and said, those aren't the numbers we got. Someone changed those numbers. Who
changed those numbers?
Exactly. So then all these people are dying from this crazy cancer from all that dust.
And you see that the EPA now says asbestos is okay?
You can't trust them. You can't trust
anything.
them.
They found estrogen in that Burger King's McDonald's hamburger.
That makes sense.
And it's exactly. They want you to grow tits, become a tranny. It's either way, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So they figured out what's the carbon dioxide and all that greenhouse. They haven't figured shit out. They haven't figured nothing out. That's all bullshit. Global fucking warming. They can't even call it global warming no more. Why'd you change the name, fool? Why'd you change the name? Why isn't it global warming no more?
Some places are cooling. Yeah, because some places are cooling.
Yeah, so climate change. Oh, you don't believe in climate change? Yeah, motherfucker, climate's change. So what? What you want? Oh, but what do you? We need a carbon tax. We need a global carbon tax to fix this. You can't even fix the fucking cities in L.A.,
dude.
The homeless in L.A. You're gonna clean. How are you gonna clean them? By spraying metallic particles. I'm gonna pay you to spray barium, aluminum, and strontium in the air to save me. I'm gonna pay you for that. Fuck you.
And you thought it was crazy when I told you were doing that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. First it was crazy, and now it's gonna
psycho.
Now it's gonna save the world. Yeah. Crazy shit.
It's unbelievable to me.
And now it's all coming out now because for a while there, once you start waking up, you're like, oh, all this shit's fake. Satellites in space.
Everything's a lie. That's what this guy's talking about.
The Hubble telescope and all that. So now they're covering their asses now. Now they got all the shit they got satellites on balloons now, on helium balloons, and they have thousands of them up there. And it's cheaper, and it's a cheaper way, more economical. It's way better than sending them
Did the internet get away from them, dude?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what happened.
Have you seen these videos? They're documentaries on how now satellites are on balloons. Dude, they've always been on balloons, dude. This is nothing new. They're trying to make it sound like it's new. Go to Loon Project, Loon Project. Go check out their documentaries. They explain, and they don't even bring up the space satellites no more. They're just saying this is the way we're going to get the internet all over the world.
People
with
are
our
so
balloons.
dumb.
And then now, what they're also pushing now, big time, is Sophia, the telescope that's on a plane. It's a 747, and on the side of it, it's a telescope. And it just so happens that all the pictures that come from Sophia are the same ones that are coming from Hubble. It's the same frames. So what they're doing is they're saying, you know what? Hubble's old now. We're going to crash into the ocean. All we need, we could do this on a 747. That's all we need. They're slowly getting people used to that shit.
Oh, dude, it's like this guy on that video.
There's nothing floating up in space.
Was like, hey, turn the satellite around. It's taking all the space pictures.
Yeah.
Have it zoom in on the on the ball and show me somebody upside down.
Yeah. But apparently, Japan has the Hawajira 8 that takes real-time pictures of the whole ball. That's already debunked. It's all fake too. They're saying that the United States couldn't figure out how to take pictures of the Earth from space, but the Japanese did, bro. You know how smart they are. They got the Hawajira 8 satellite taking real time. Every 10 minutes takes a picture. And then you look into Hawajira 8 debunked. Dude breaks it all off on where they're getting their images. He's breaking it, dude. It's all faked.
And then they talk about how we can't go into space because of the debris. All the debris that's up
That's
there.
the new thing. That's the new
but
thing
you can have a balloon up there, but the debris isn't going to fuck up the
so
balloon.
stupid, dude.
Yeah. Dude, satellites are on balloons, dude.
Satellites are on balloons,
They're
dude.
on balloons, dude. And guess what? You know what else is balloons? You know what else is balloons, dude? Oh, that like when they show like SpaceX launching a rocket. That rocket's a balloon, dude. They're just launching. That's the bottom part.
The top part? So you tell me all the way to the top?
The whole thing is like a blimp. They're launching blimps, dude. And then they're landing blimps. It's the only thing that's metal.
By the way, that landing of the rocket is so obviously a video.
Or it's a blimp. It's a balloon.
Dude, that is... Dude.
Look, Mark Weiss has David Weiss, sorry. David Weiss has a video on it, dude. And you look and you start looking at like the space shuttle when they launch that, like when it's on its side and it's like this and it's on a rocket. You're looking, it's like, dude, that motherfucker's a blimp too. They're just launching blimps in the fucking.
Or like those little things where you pump up as a kid.
Are you saying it's a bouncy house, dog?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. Those motherfuckers are bouncy houses, dude. Way easier to launch a bouncy
And here's
house.
the thing, dude. It's like, and in this video, they're asking this British guy, like, "Oh, is everybody in on it?" Well, I think a lot of people are in on it. Like, this is could get me in trouble, but it's like everybody knows there's natural cures for cancer. They're never going to cure cancer because there's so much money in it.
Yeah.
It's never going to cure. So is everybody in NASA in on it? I don't know. But I think to get to the highest levels, you are in on it. And you're willing, and they know you'll never say anything. All these live action role players, right? They get thrown so much money that it would not make sense to ever tell the truth. Do you know that Dr. Dre is the highest paid musician in the teens?
I believe it.
I mean, think about all the shit that guy, like NWA, all that shit that he was a fucking part of, dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Bam, they just...
How is P. Diddy still making money? You know,
How
he's
is P. Diddy still making money?
What is he doing? People are buying his shit?
Dude, that's what dude, it's got to be money from fucking Notorious B.I.G., right? I mean, people just got to be buying that shit still.
Yep.
Right?
He's making money off that, right? For sure.
Probably.
Didn't he produce it or something? Didn't he produce it?
That movie, yeah. But the only one that...
No, produced his music. Didn't he produce
the
Notorious B.I.G.?
Yeah.
P. Diddy?
Remember that? That was part of the whole East Coast, West Coast shit. Is that he was putting him in all of Biggie's fucking videos, and everyone's like, "Why is P. Diddy in every one of these fucking videos?"
Yeah,
right. He's compromised as fuck too.
What do you think of Mel Gibson? Where's he at? Did he break free and he's doing his own shit and he's like a rogue operator?
I mean, it's
wasn't-
pretty interesting.
Wasn't everybody against him when he made Passion of the Christ?
Well, no, yeah, and
They
then
were like, it was he used all his own money,
Yep.
and they were trying to fuck him, weren't they?
yeah. Well, dude, have you ever seen that these guys who are on the fucking the tip, they all get taken care of and pushed forward by whoever it is. Whenever they try to go indie, that's when they get fucked.
Yeah.
Shit comes out.
Yeah.
You know,
That
Louis,
phone call with his
wife, but like Louis C.K., Michael Jackson wanted to do his own thing. Not saying that what he did was right. Prince did the same thing. You remember when Prince tried to get out of the music industry and he became a symbol?
Yeah.
Boom, he's gone. I mean, you can just go down these lists of people who tried to do their own, that were corporate people and then tried to do their own shit.
What do you think about the whole Paul McCartney thing? What do you think?
I think it's a different guy.
Right? Because it is weird though. At first, when you hear about it, that that he got replaced in 1966 by a different guy. Like the guy's name was something Pepper, like Kyle Pepper, or
Yeah.
something like that. And then Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band comes out.
Or how
And
about the fucking Abbey Road? Like that's supposedly the whole. They tell you exactly what was
Yeah.
going on right in that thing.
And then the craziest thing, the biggest thing though, is when you look at bands, no band like breaks up forever. They always get back together for like one last reunion tour or something. They stopped touring. They put out a couple albums, 2 or 3 albums. They didn't tour for them, and then they just finally just broke up and never played again. It's like maybe if that Paul McCartney is a different guy, they say that he was actually a right-handed guy and he had to learn how to play left-handed, and he just couldn't do it on the road. He just wasn't that good, but he was a really good songwriter and he wrote most of the shit. That's why it got all psychedelic afterwards. They needed someone to write psychedelic music as opposed to like I wanna hold you.
Yeah.
They want, and then they got all drugged out and psychedelic. They grew their hair out.
Yeah.
So shit, I would believe that for sure. I just got to look into it more.
I mean, we're talking about at one point the biggest band in the world,
Yeah, and then they stopped touring.
and then the guy dies. And they're like, "Yeah, it's done. It's out." It's like, it's so interesting. They were talking about Kevin Hart is a weird thing right now, right? Like, it's like
What's
so
weird about it? Is it the car accident?
Yeah.
have anything to do
Yeah,
with that?
and then like we didn't hear from him, and now he's like, next thing you know, he's on the fucking court, mid court at the Laker game. It's like weird, and now he's got a special coming out. It's just weird. So this whole thing about
Clones.
I mean, dude, I know people are into that shit, and I'm not saying it's real, but man, it's the whole thing was
possible.
like he just like corralled off, got in an accident, crawled his way home, then called. It's like it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Is there
dude.
conspiracy videos about it?
Yeah, I mean,
Send me
like,
a link.
how many of these rappers come back and their tattoos are in different places?
When does that happen?
all the time. You haven't seen it. I got to send you this Instagram page we follow. He's
Their
all about
their tattoos
clones.
don't match up.
Really?
Yeah, it's like weird shit. You're like,
You would think. Okay, since we brought over, I don't know. They say 1,200 to 1,500 Nazi scientists and intelligence people from World War II. They did MK Ultra in the CIA. They formed the CIA. They formed NASA. That's massive mind control with faking the moon missions. Like, what would stop them from experimenting with clones? Like, you would just think, like, of
I
course
mean, they've been
of course.
cloning since the 1800s, dude. Like, why do you not think they couldn't be like?
How do you think it works? Okay, how would they clone someone
Well, this
who
is
was
the way.
30?
This is the way they say it. These rappers, they literally go. There's these videos where one of these rappers says, "I'm a clone. I am robot." Da 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 da. He gives out a number, and he's like, "What happened to your other person?" He's like, "Well, I don't know. When you sell yourself to the devil or whatever, you go into this compartment, and then they clone you." And he might be trolling. Most likely, he's fucking trolling. But the thing is, you never fucking know.
Yeah, well, dude, I don't know where we are with transhumanism and
trolling.
being able to, replicate somebody's personality. Like, they all say Dave Chappelle's a clone, but it's like, how do you get that comedic timing go? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy?
But it is the whole and then you hear real quick. You hear the thing about when what's his name? Jack Black from Jumanji.
Yeah.
Was like, yeah, the first movie was so successful, we'd have to do it even if we didn't want to. They would probably if we said no, they would kill us and clone us.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like it's just weird shit.
You know,
dude.
speaking of AI, another cool thing about not cool but crazy thing about Epstein is he had the most expensive mansion in Manhattan. It was like $70 million that Les Wexner gave to him. Right?
Do you know who owned it
Yeah.
before them?
The Vatican.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then he also had a ranch in New Mexico called Zorro Ranch.
Yeah.
But a mile away from Zorro Ranch, he also had he also owned a replica of a Western town. Like it's a Western town replica, and celebrities would go there on vacation. And the Clintons with Chelsea, Bill and Hillary, they would go there every year. It was and you know, he was deep with like the Disney executives and high level Hollywood people. Is Westworld about fucking Epstein, dude?
Oh man.
Is Westworld about Epstein? Because he was all into AI. He was all into the highest levels of science and AI, dude. And he's deep into Hollywood, super powerful, blackmailed all these motherfuckers, not just politicians, but people high in the entertainment business.
And only rich people would go visit Westworld.
Yeah.
Dude,
Only like people with money.
They thought they were never going to get caught. I wouldn't doubt if Westworld was about Epstein, dude.
Dude, I mean, dude, I wouldn't doubt it either, man.
He had a Western rep, like, next to his Zorro Ranch, and the Clintons would go there.
They're fucking nuts.
People would go there, the elite would go there to vacation in a Western town. Imagine that. What are the odds?
Do you think he's
what
dead?
What a coincidence.
Do you think he's dead?
He could be. He could be alive.
I think he could.
50-50.
Dude, it's easily. I mean, I personally think there's more evidence to him being alive than not being alive. Like, there's nothing that tells me he's officially dead other than one picture. So let me get this right. They put him in an unmarked grave. People went looking for the grave, so they decided to take his parents' gravestone up so people couldn't find the grave. I mean, dude, there's one picture of him. The earlobes don't match up.
What's the protocol when something like that happens? A criminal is about to go to trial, and then he gets killed in prison. Like, do they have a funeral for the guy?
Where's a funeral?
Yeah.
Where's anything?
Maybe they say, in these situations, they're rare, but in these situations, there are no funerals.
Like a death penalty?
Yeah, but hold on, dude. The government can't decide whether you have a funeral or not.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know.
Well,
Like,
they do. They
was
do
there a
with
funeral?
With terrorists and stuff? They just throw them off the fucking boat.
Yeah, that's what they tell you.
So that's what I'm saying.
Right?
It
I
sounds
remember
like
when
that.
they
It
killed
sounds like
Osama
that.
bin Laden. I remember exactly where I was in my living room watching TV, and I'm like, "Oh, so they finally killed him. Let's see what they do with the body. Let's see." And then along the bottom of the TV on the news, it says, Osama bin Laden's body has been thrown into the ocean. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, what? They threw his ass in the ocean?
Yeah.
That's when I knew it was bullshit.
Yeah, the whole thing's
Throw
bullshit.
him in the ocean that quick? You just killed him. You're just gonna.
I mean, how many times we killed this ISIS guy over and over again, who was a Mossad agent, by the way, and just like dude, we got a ding on the Instagram on fucking on the tinfoil hat one because I posted a picture of Osama bin Laden and when he was a CIA agent back in the day, back in like the early '80s.
Yeah.
I got dinged for that.
Didn't
What did
you
it say? I didn't see that. What did it say?
It was
Like a fact check? That fact
No.
check bullshit?
This was spreading hateful information or some shit
How
like
about
that.
how about Obama's grandfather supposedly in the CIA? Right?
How crazy is that?
Well, I always knew his
And
mom was. I
related
knew
to
his,
all these presidents.
Yeah, I knew that his mom was, and because mom ran the Bank of Honolulu, and she was the one who was running all the Black Ops money through from Asia.
She's a sex kitten too. Like, you know how when they break you down in the MK Ultra shit,
Yeah.
you're either like a weapon of war, I forget what it's called, or you're a sex kitten.
And so Obama's related to George Bush.
Yeah, dude, they brought it up in front of him.
That's
And
crazy.
it's like, dude, you're related to Dick Cheney. Well, that's going to be an awkward Christmas party.
Obama said
like,
that?
He's so, like, it was along the lines of that.
Yeah.
He's so brilliant. All right, dude. Well, I forgot to push that. I'm going to be in Phoenix, Arizona on January 9th through the 12th. I'm at the House of Comedy. Go to az.houseofcomedy.net. Do we
What
have
about
any?
we got
at the end of
Texas
January
and Oklahoma?
Yeah, what
Why don't
is
you
that
bust
real
that?
quick?
What is it we got?
January 24th in Dallas, Fort Worth at Hyenas. And January 25th, the next day, in Oklahoma City at Bricktown Comedy Club. Check it out.
Guys, thank you so much for coming. I love you all very much. Thank you for listening. Eddie, I love you. You're a big part of my life, and I'll never be able to repay you for all the kindness you've shown me.
Well, thank you, man.
It's been a great 2019. I love you to death.
Love you too, man.
And XG, I appreciate you.
Of course.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you for coming in and let us do this. You guys are the best. We appreciate you, and we'll see you in 2020, motherfuckers.
Stay flat.
It is going to be bizarro. Take care.
Gonna stay flat.
Tinfoil hat.
Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Revolution will be podcasted.
Yes. Hello. Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. You know who I am. You know what I'm here to do. I'm here to rock. Joining me as always in the studio is my man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Xavier Guerrero.
What's up?
What's up, brother? And joining us in studio, the bring the year home, an amazing year for Tinfoil Hat, and he's a big part of it. My good friend and yours, my brother from another mother, Eddie Bravo.
Thank you for having me.
What's up, brother?
Same old shit.
Banging it out, dude. Doing a final show for the year. It's been a good year, and I love you very much, man. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for this show and done for me, and so it's always an honor to fucking go to battle with you, brother. You know, going on the road, selling out our rock clubs now. We're doing rock clubs.
Yeah. Portland was
off
awesome.
the hook.
Yeah, Portland was awesome.
You know, I mean, it's an interesting town for sure. I had a great time. I couldn't find any chicken soup, you know. I'm like, hey, does anyone know where soup is? Well, they're like a vegan sushi restaurants down the street. I'm like, okay, man.
You went to sleep, but we went to Voodoo Donuts.
I heard.
Dude, they have baby coffins at Voodoo Donuts. I don't know why, but they have baby coffins.
Yeah, and it's creepy. And you got the swirlies all over the place.
They have great donuts, though.
That's the whole thing. It's like, what do you do, man?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's like, I love the movie Taxi Driver, but we know Robert De Niro shady as shit. Like, what do I do?
Yeah. You can't red pill 24/7. You got a blue. I like the blue pill on the weekends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watch football, all that shit. You know?
People do that with me. They're always like, "Hey, dude, how do you watch pro sports? You know, it's all rigged." I go, "I mean, dude, I need to enjoy something."
Yeah, and totally. I mean, it's harder to watch movies now than ever before.
Oh, it's so hard, dude.
It's tough.
It's so hard.
And the crazy thing is that when you've seen Joker, right? Who hasn't?
Yeah.
Until they got to like the obvious like Trump propaganda, I was thinking, man, finally, this movie crushes. This is amazing.
They have to do that.
Yeah. Then they threw in the Trump propaganda.
They have to do it. There's no way that dude. I was